I'm thinking about just one word today. One word. Would. Would is another word that I'm wanting to remove out of my vocabulary. I hadn't used it in a long time, I should say. Why are you removing this from your vocabulary, Ayn? Because when I think of the word would, which this is something I don't do when I give people my answer on something that they may ask, one way or the other, I don't go down this path of I would do this, but the reason why I don't do that because the word would leads into explaining. I'm not explaining myself. I'm not explaining myself on the decisions that I make. It leads into explaining, and then what you have is you have this back and forth of a person trying to finagle with you on why you would do this, and them trying to adjust whatever it is that they're asking you to fit into that circumstance of changing that would into a could. I ain't doing it. If it's something I want to do, I flat out acknowledge it. I'll do it. You're not going to have to beg me to do it. I'm not going to get you anywhere anyway trying to beg and doing it because I've got my mind made up. My mind is made up. The reason why I'm doing this and taking time out to discuss this is like another video that I shot on 2 other words that you shouldn't use. It reminds me of being in one of my college classes, right? And I remember it was a person that for the assignment, they were asked to write I was going to say a speech, but it wasn't a speech. They were going to have to give a speech, but it was a research paper, and it was going to be in third person. But what this person kept doing was they kept writing it in first person. So to clear the air a little bit, in this case, maybe you need to brush up on the difference between first person and third person. The person was writing the paper like this. They kept saying, I would like to say to you, I would like to change, I. The teacher was like, that's not what I asked you to do. You're giving it as a speech. This is a paper. Person tried to come back, tried to do it again. They kept using I. I'm wanting to relay this information to you. I'm this, that, and the third. I spoke up. I advised the person in order for them, because they didn't quite get it on that first and that third person, how to really pull out of that first person point of view, which when you think about it is really ironic because a lot of us, when you're looking at certain situations, you might not see how you factor in some of the things around us. Anyway, that's on the side. I spoke up and I suggested, hey, to force you in the third person, you can't use the word I. Take it out of your vocabulary. However you write in that paper, you can't use the word I. It forced this person to have to restructure their sentences, and it forced them in the third person. They were like, I ain't that I understand. Wrote the paper. It's beautiful. Good to go. Same thing when I'm thinking about I thinking on things. I know how it applies to me. In another video, when I stated on 2 words that you shouldn't use, go look that video up. I think I'll go ahead and probably create a folder on here of words that you shouldn't use. So go look that up. And the reason why I state that is because I noticed that once I use certain words, it takes you down a path of doing whatever that said word is. Give me an example, like another video. The 2 words that I used that led to overthinking was should and wish. Normally when you're talking about should and wish, go look at that other video, because I'm not going to talk about everything I said in that other video. And it's the same thing with this video. Now I'm getting my words crossed up. Could. I think that's what I started this video out with saying, yeah. Somebody asks you to do something and you say, I could, or it was I would, but because it's followed by, I got to pick my daughter up from daycare, this, that, and the third. Could you pick me up from XYZ when you get off? I would, but I got to do this, that, and the third. See, what tends to happen is you have that other person, not in all instances, but in a lot of instances, it just depends on how driven the person is and trying to get you to do whatever it is they want you to do. They may follow up with, well, I could wait. I can wait. You can pick me up after you pick up your daughter. Now you're explaining. Now you're making excuses for something that you really don't want to do. You didn't think I thought of that? If I really wanted to pick you up? So we're going to leave that out because I don't need you trying to find ways that I can move forward in whatever it is that you're trying to get me to do. So I'm not doing that. See, that's what a lot of conversation is. It's back and forth. And when you're talking to people, depending on who you're talking to, conversational bullies, people who are just people pleasers, whatever the case may be, you got this back and forth and you're doing this dance. And it's all based on the things that you say. No, that's what conversation is, right? But in having some of these conversations and to have a healthy conversation is something that's successful, or what I deem successful in both of us achieving whatever it is that we're trying to achieve in this, with me, it's just a healthy interaction going on. I'm not trying to force anything on you, and I really hope you're not trying to force anything off me because I'm going to have to check you on it. But some of these things that, this channel is based on preventative measures. And this is one of the ways that I found to prevent some of these things, or not even going down those roads, not even opening that gate to the possibilities of some of the things that you don't want to do. It's the same thing with dancing partners, right? You don't step out on the dancing floor, the dance floor with somebody you don't want to dance with, right? It's the same thing when you're moving and you're interacting with people. There's keywords, there's triggers. Just like there's trigger words to bring up traumatic experiences, there's trigger words to pull people out of character, really push their buttons, get them emotional, get them going. It's the same thing with not even opening up doors on things to go down paths with people, as I stated. And when I'm thinking about the word, I don't know why I keep slipping my mind, I would do, but, so like I said, that word would. Because the first thing when you're saying would up to a person is like, wait a minute, they're saying they would. So what they're telling me is they want to do it, but they can't for this reason. And like I said, depending on who you're talking about, could be a manipulative individual. They may say, well, let me go ahead and make this more appetizing so we can change that would into a will. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? No, there ain't no way. If there was a way, I would have gave it to you. I would have asked you some questions to help me meet your need. But more often than not, what you find is with some individuals, they're trying to bow out of situation politely, trying to be courteous. Nothing wrong with being courteous and kind, but hey man, sometimes you got to quit the beating around the bush and just say what you mean. I'm not saying that you got to be a jerk up about it, but hey, adamant on standing firm on what it is that you will and won't do. This is how you lead in the gray areas of having people all confused, and in the end, they're frustrated with you by your decisions because you're playing, man. You're playing. And to you, it may be okay because you're dancing around this issue, but you're leading other people on. You're playing. You don't understand why they're agitated with you. So if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Don't even open that door. So back to the topic of this video. We've been on topic of this video, but the word that we're talking about removing up out of there is would. W-O-U-L-D. I would do it, but no. Your answer is I can't do that. Unless you're truly saying, unless you're trying to do some sort of negotiation, hey, I would do it, but I have this. And then the person leaves with, well, I can wait till after you're done doing that. Oh, can you? That's cool because I really want to pick you up after work. I really want to do whatever it is that you're trying to get me to do. So, yeah, that suits my schedule fine. But I'm not really thinking that's the way that you want this to go. That's why we're taking time out to discuss this. End the video. Tired of talking about this. Stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. I'm Ayin. Y'all have a good one.